Webinar will be on naming conventions, and I have gotten some questions about what that means. So just real quick, naming conventions are any standards that you adhere to when you title things in your Canvas course. So if you have standards for how you name modules or assignments or quizzes, do you number those things? Do you have a consistent acronym? Do you have a consistent name? All those things we're going to be sharing. And we will be looking at submissions from teachers across Birdville for things that they suggest and things that work well for them as almost a smorgasbord that you can choose from. But today we're talking about new quizzes. And new quizzes in Canvas is the new upcoming question generator, quiz generator, if you want to think about that. And right now it is juxtaposed to classic quizzes. Classic quizzes is the old quiz building engine. New quizzes is the new quiz building engine. And the cool thing you have the opportunity to have those things juxtaposed this next semester. Get familiar with building quizzes in Canvas, but also then you also have the ability to dip your toes into the new features that are coming out. You will not have that opportunity after July because classic quizzes, quote unquote, is going away in July, and new quizzes will just become quizzes. It will be the quizzing engine in Canvas. So take that opportunity this semester to enjoy the comfort of having both side by side. I also want to kind of show you how to convert a classic quiz to a new quiz. So there's no reason for you to have to lose all of that work you've done this year creating quizzes. You can just convert those things to new quizzes. And then I want to take you on a quick tour through the question types and new quizzes. I'll probably actually switch bullet 2 and bullet 3 there. Before I move on, though, I want to kind of tarry for a minute at this QRG. And for those of you saying, I would rather just have the link, just hold on. I'll get you the link in just a second. I'm trying to provide as many ways to access the information as possible. If you'd like to access this information via an iPad or a phone, here's a QR code for you. What this does is this links to a Canvas user guide, and I'm going to go to there now for creating new quizzes. And I just want to point this out. Here's your URL. If you'd like the URL, it is right here. We'll be there for quite a while. You can write that down, or you could just Google search the terms Canvas and new quizzes, and it'll be the second or third option down. But you'll look for the one that has community.canvaslms.com, and you'll be good to go. So that should be 3 ways you can find this document, but this is a good document to either bookmark or save into your OneNote or Evernote or what have you. And I just want to kind of scroll down. This is a literal step-by-step document so that we won't have to go into so much detail because you won't remember if I go into a lot of detail, and I don't have time to go into a lot of detail on this webinar. But as you can see, this is a step-by-step guide to creating Canvas new quizzes. I do want to tarry 1 second and show you this. There is a way within your Canvas and your modules or your Canvas quiz builder that you can visually tell the difference between an old quiz and a new quiz. If you're unfamiliar, the old quiz, they both still use the rocket ship, but the old quiz has an outline of the rocket ship, and the new quiz is actually filled in. It's colored in for you. So little piece of trivia there for you. And I want to scroll a little slow. I want to get down to this build assessment section here. because it talks about all of the different question types. And I do know, I've heard from coordinators, the content coordinators are really excited about all these new question types because they mirror or mimic the format of questions that students might see on future STAR tests, more so even than the tests that you would make officially for the district in Eduphoria right now. Those quiz builders or test builders haven't quite caught up to all these question types yet. And that's not to disparage that official quiz test builder for, regular district assessments. What I want you to do is I want you to use this in concert with those official things. These things can work hand in hand. They're not always opposed to one another or meant to be a replacement for something else. Sometimes it's just another tool in the toolbox. And then this is what I wanted to show you really. Underneath all of those question types, notice this. You have all the question types, but all of these are hyperlinked to another user guide specifically for those question types. Okay, so that's a really useful document for you. Okay, now I want to kind of skip over to Canvas, live Canvas. We're going to kind of demo some things, and then I'll show you how to convert those quizzes. All right, I'm going to pop over here. Here's my dashboard. I'm going to go into one of my sandbox classes. Now I'm going to confess this too. So my job's innovation, but I am not as savvy as some of my coworkers in terms of being on the specific out cutting bleeding edge of things. I'm a little older. I'm a little more of a wait and see kind of person, or more of a so what kind of person. And the reason why I'm telling you that, and this is no surprise to most of you, I didn't see new quizzes until this school year because I didn't know where to look. Okay, they were actually beta testing this starting last year, and it looked really cool. I wasn't opposed to it. I just didn't know where to find it because I build everything in modules. As a teacher, that's always how I did it. That was what they always told us, design through modules. And I still think that that's a great path to follow. But let me show you this. So if I am in modules and I click the plus and I go to quiz, I'm not ever given the option to make a new quiz. Let me show you this. Sample, delete, later. Okay, and I add item. Bam. It just basically creates a quiz. And notice, this is what I was talking about a second ago. Still have the rocket ship, but the classic quiz is the outline. The new quiz is the filled in, right? So it didn't even give me the option. So I had no clue where to find that. Now, where you find that is over here under your toolbar. You want to scroll up to quizzes. And this is where you can create that new quiz, okay? I'm going to click plus quiz, and then you're presented with this option, okay? And like I said, you'll only be presented with this option for the rest of this school year. So next semester, starting in July, new quizzes will just be quizzes. So, but let's go ahead just for the sake of right now and click new quizzes, click submit. You're very familiar with this. Sample question type demo 2.0. And everything else here is just kind of yeah. And I want to click save. Now, notice what's different here is it didn't take me back to quizzes in terms of where all the quizzes are. That looks like modules. It took me directly into the quiz builder, which I think is sort of neat, okay? And this layout looks very sort of modern. It looks like Google Forms, but it also looks like Microsoft Sway if you've ever built in there. A couple of things at the top. You can create question banks and item banks to pull from. You can create those as a department, as a grade level, so on and so forth. That's a really, really cool feature. I would suggest as you are building out quizzes for your students to bank those things so that other people can access them. Also, if you'll notice here, I can link each question or each quiz to a outcome. And outcomes basically are your state standards, okay, your TEKS. If I click this button here, I will actually be linking the entire quiz I'm about to make to one of the TEKS, okay? And that is probably beneficial for when the TEKS are a new introduced sort of TEKS that aren't sort of done in years past, where you want to have 2 or 3 questions, let's say as a warm-up, that sort of underscore or assess those essential knowledge and skills. There are ways within questions to tie each question to a different TEKS. And I'll show you that all along the way. But this one up top is to tie the whole quiz to one of the TEKS. Let's go ahead and start building a little bit here. Categorization is one that I just learned about. And it's really, really cool. What it does is it creates a 2-column, if you will, drag and drop option for kids. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of demo this. And I'm going to call this one President or Vice. This is just the title here. And I'm going to call the question the same thing. Is this person a president or vice president? Now what I have here is 2 categories, right? I can do presidents and then type a whole bunch of presidents here, okay? I'll do presidents. Over here, I will do vice presidents. I can type answers here. I can do Trump. I can do Obama. I can do Bush, so on and so forth. I can do Biden, which is a little bit of a distractor now because he was a vice president, but next semester he will be the president. So maybe that would be more of a distractor or one that could be counted in both ways. You could say, Johnson, so on and so forth, right? You can add distractor names if you want to as well. The reason why the distractors are cool is when the kids see this, they'll see the question and they'll see 2 blanks, and at the bottom they'll just see a whole bunch of tiles with names on them that they have to categorize in the right area, okay? So I think that's kind of a neat question type. Remember when I was saying a minute ago how you could align each question to one of the TEKS? This is where you would do that here, okay? So instead of doing the alignment up here, which will apply to the whole quiz, you could do it on a question-by-question basis right here. We're going to go into that more next week with the outcomes session. And then, of course, then to add we'll click done. And there's kind of a little bit of a demo. It still looks different from students. What they will have here is all of the possible answers will be down here for students, and they have to drag these tiles up to the correct answer. This is basically almost a key. So we're going to go ahead and click another one of these. A lot of these are very obvious. You've seen them before. Formulas, I'm going to go ahead and confess that I am not a mathy person. And so I see that and my hard drive in my head skips a little bit. But I think that that's going to be really cool for those of you that test formulas. That's a cool way to build in question types with formulas in them. Matching, duh. Multiple choice, duh. Ordering, duh. Although I think that's a cool way to do ordering. I love the fact that what's one of the things I loved about Pear Deck is that you can do ordering activities in Pear Deck, but now you can assess them in Canvas. Essay, duh. Fill in the blank, duh. Hotspot, Owen. What is hotspot? This is kind of a cool one that I've not played with, although I'm going to show you on that user guide real quick. This is a way that you can kind of upload a picture. Could be a map, could be like a painting, and you can assess based on where kids click. Okay, let me just kind of go up here because I didn't have the resources in there to demo how to create that. But if I go over here, I can just show you this. The following image types can be used for hotspots: bitmaps, GIFs, JPEGs, and PNGs. I think this demo, though, is the coolest thing, right? They had this sample question in here. They uploaded this painting, and the question is locate Thomas Jefferson in the image below. So the kids would have to click here, right? The cool thing is, though, you basically you just draw a box over where you want the kids to click. And if they click in that box, ding, they get it right. So that's kind of a cool thing. I can see that being a cool map activity. Let's say in geography, you could put Texas. You could say, where's the capital of Texas? And then draw like a little box around Austin, and the kids would have to click in Austin. Or in English, you could upload, let's say you're teaching Huck Finn. You could have a map of the Mississippi and then have a box around Cairo, Mississippi. And you could ask the kids, where did Huck and Jim miss the turn? And then sort of put a box around that corner on the river where they missed the turn and kept going downstream. So yeah, that is a really cool question type there. Multiple answer. Now, I learned this. Multiple answer is not just another way of saying multiple choice. Multiple choice is you have lots of choices, but you still only have one correct answer, right? Multiple answer is maybe all of them are right. You have multiple answers, but also then multiple right answers. Maybe none of them are right, okay? Numeric answers, of course, you mathy people would really like that, I'm sure, and then true or false. Usually we had to do that through a multiple choice, but nowadays it's separate own question type. So that basically is a quick rundown through the question types. And I'm going to click return, save that. And I want to go ahead and show you, and of course, then we have right here. We notice that it's here and ready to go. Let's say I want to convert one of my old quizzes to a new quiz. If I go out to the three dots out on the far right, there's migrate. And migrate is how you would convert that quote-unquote classic quiz to a new quiz. I do want to show you one more thing before I log off. Let's say you have built this quiz here and you want to put it in a module, okay? And we figured this out when I was out at North Oaks about a month ago. Let's go back to modules. And if I'm building out this module and I'm adding a quiz. If I do, look, my quiz is not there, right? And that's because, and those of you that have messed with external tools know this, right? This is kind of one of those weird Canvas foibles that defy logic. It's actually going to be under assignments. There it is right there, sample question demo type 2, okay? For whatever reason, LTI tools show up under assignments, not quizzes, even if you're making a quiz. So keep that in mind. Also, guys, I do want to kind of throw this in as one little bit of, I don't know, information for you if you don't. I would always caution you, it's a best practice to not just assess on multiple choice, okay? It's very easy. I understand that. It's very quick. It's very easy. But I will tell you, I have seen them myself. There are videos on TikTok that show kids how to find the answers in question banks. Not only this, in Google Forms, there's really no secure format, okay? So keep that in mind. Kids do have the information on how to find answer choices. So make sure that you are using multiple choice, but you're also using other forms of ungoogleable questions and answers, like open-ended questions, essays, things like that. If you really want to get more of a full spectrum awareness of knowledge, you want to use more than just multiple choice. And that's not to disparage multiple choice. It's wonderful as a quick tool, but it shouldn't be the only assessment tool in your toolbox. I hope that this has been useful for you guys. I'm going to go ahead now and stop the recording. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can email me or your DLS, and we'll be happy to help you with any of this stuff. Remember, tomorrow's webinar is on naming conventions, and I can't wait to see you then. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.